let's do it. Let's jump into it. And listen, I'll preface all of this by saying I've had time to cool down. But I do want to make a public apology to my wife, who I went on a rant to about halfway through the second quarter. Because she could tell and sense that something was, is everything okay with the game? And I went, I don't really want to talk about it. And then about a minute later, I went, you know what? I'll talk about it. You know what? Here we go. I'm going to talk about it. And, so I love you, sweetheart. And thank you for letting me play fantasy football. You're an angel. Anyways, here we go. Okay.
Very nice.
So, Thursday night football, we see the Lions come out on top over the Packers. Divisional game was exciting for a little bit and then a little boring and then exciting towards the end. And then got boring again and just kind of up and down. But some performances to talk about, and we'll just jump into it because Jahmyr Gibbs was a must start for me. I thought, this is going to be the opportunity he has, even if David Montgomery returns, which he did, and we will talk about that in a little bit. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's bound to have the breakout, and this feels like prime time under the lights. He is going to have that time to shine. 9.1 fantasy points. I stopped checking his points in the second quarter. So I'm amazed that we made it to 9.1.
Yeah.
8 carries for 40 yards. What's that? 5 yards a carry. Oh, fantastic. Great. Cool. 4 catches on 5 targets, only 11 yards. Last target he had, fantastic. Designed play. Would have loved that in like a third down situation early in the game. Maybe that works out. Little designed screen play on an end around. Wes, I'm a Jahmyr Gibbs owner in a handful of my leagues. I believe it is 3. 3 leagues
Yes,
I have Jahmyr Gibbs. High hopes for the guy. Now, am I alone in that? I don't think so.
No.
Because the Detroit Lions drafted Jahmyr Gibbs with the 12th overall pick in the NFL draft. The 12th overall pick. So certainly there is a game plan. They had a player who was so comparable to him in DeAndre Swift. They drafted him 12th overall in the NFL draft. Surely he's going to take over this role. He's going to get more looks because it's going to be a better situation because Dan Campbell wants that guy. We saw the war room whenever he was drafted. They nearly broke a table. It was they were so excited for this guy. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing with Jahmyr Gibbs? I mean, listen, and I can understand the argument from others that it is. Listen, they're up 24-3. They're up 24-3. They're winning. David Montgomery is 2 touchdowns deep right now. Cool. What? They're not gonna risk a young talent maybe to just get him on the field. But it's situations like this where you look at it and you go, okay, you drafted the guy 12th overall. If that's the situation you're going to be in, why did you take him with the 12th overall pick in the draft? I struggle to comprehend what the thought process was with that if they didn't have a clear plan to make sure they got Jahmyr Gibbs the ball on 15 designed plays a week. If he got 15 plays a week where it was dude, killing it. He's got 10 carries and he's got 5 catches or whatever, and they were designed plays specifically for him. It's the usage feels so poor, so misused, and what do we do with Jahmyr Gibbs, Wes? Because I don't know where we're at right now. I mean,
it's a situation
I'm a little lost.
Where if you own Gibbs, you can see the talent, and as you already referenced, his yards per carry, and we can see that he has the ability when he has the ball. But I withdrew trade offers that I had pending in my leagues to acquire Jahmyr Gibbs because right now it doesn't feel that he is the lead back. And for better and worse, mostly worse, you hit the nail right on the head in the offseason that David Montgomery was your favorite trade acquisition, your favorite offseason move from this year. And that was when DeAndre Swift was there. So the way Montgomery's performing now is probably the way that you anticipated he would perform when Swift was the back. But it's literally as if nothing had changed, as if nothing has changed. I wish we had the full snap count from last night's game, because I began looking at some of them. When Montgomery was out, he had a 60% snap count. How does your lead back have a 60% snap count when he's the 12th overall pick, and you trade away your existing starting running back because you have that much confidence in him? It's so confusing. He's not on the field. I don't know why. I never saw him once in the red zone. I never saw him take a single snap in the red zone. It's no wonder he's not scoring, because they don't give him the opportunity. It's no wonder David Montgomery walks away with 30 points because he's the only running back in the red zone. And I don't understand in what could be called garbage time. You could look at this game. I mean, the margin was large enough that you could have put Gibbs in. I mean, Dan Campbell could have put Gibbs in and said, okay, we feel safe enough. I know the Packers just had a comeback against the Saints last week, but we feel safe enough with our lead that we can let the young guy get the rest of the carries for the game and continue to build his NFL confidence. Didn't even do that. I don't think I saw Gibbs get a carry in the fourth quarter. I think he got maybe just that one target in the fourth quarter. He's the kind of player where you have to hold on to him, especially because the running back position is so weak and sparse, and there's a lot of injuries, and it feels confusing. But this is rough. This is a rough start for Gibbs fantasy owners.
Yeah.
I drank. I had to crack. I had to drink after halftime. I was so upset. I'm not even kidding. I just cracked open a beer and just like the Oppenheimer meme. Just like, this is. I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
I'm so upset.
Yeah, you came up to I came up to you and I said, "Do you remember what I told you before the season started about David Montgomery while you were standing at the pond?" And you were like, "Yes." And I was like, I fear we may have just ruined the world. That's pretty much a little Oppenheimer little tease in there for anybody who saw it. If not, I don't know if it's still in theaters. Fantastic
Jahmyr
movie.
Gibbs owners to Dan Campbell. What are the chances that Jahmyr Gibbs gets in the end zone? Dan Campell, near zero.
Near zero. Yeah, 100%. It's okay. I mean, I alluded to it already, but for how frustrated we all are with the usage and how this is going, and we're looking at this going, it can't get, like, this is rock bottom for what we thought could happen. He got 9.1 points, you guys. Again, like I said, I don't understand how we got there. 5 targets is great for a running back. I do understand. He's freaking efficient on the ground. He 5 yards a carry. I don't think we're at a point where if you drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, you took him so high that I think you don't really have a choice to not start him unless you grabbed Kyron Williams or maybe you're thinking each week from now on maybe Gus Edwards or Jahmyr Gibbs, or maybe
James
Zach
Cook
Moss continues to be the guy, or James Cook. Sure. I'm going to keep rolling out Jahmyr Gibbs because if this is the floor, it's not what we hoped for, but if this is the floor, I can take 9.1. I can take 9.1. I can take 9.5. I can take 12. He got 12 last week. I understand he was the top guy, but he got 12 last week, rushing for like 4.7 yards a carry. He was fantastic. I can take the floor, but because I don't know if I can get a guaranteed 9 to 12 points from someone else that I picked up off the waiver wire each week. I feel solid about Gibbs being a 10 to 12 point guy, but it is not what we were hoping for. And he'll have the games. He'll have the games where he takes a screen pass for 40 yards and a touchdown. I was begging for him to just be in the game inside the 20, and he's just not there. I don't understand how you don't have as a team. I don't understand how you don't have a third down red zone play drawn up to get Jahmyr Gibbs open in space. Like, I don't understand how you don't have that in your playbook and in your play sheet to like have it ready. Like, okay, third down and goal from the 6. Like, it's not like we can just plunge it up the middle. It's not like we're gonna take a risk on a pass. But let's see, maybe we get a little, I don't know what it is, but it's hashtag less than ideal right now for Jahmyr Gibbs owners. But let's get it trending. Who knows? I don't know.
I've got one final thought on the situation, because it is important that we do kind of, clear our thoughts. And, this is a fresh reaction to Jahmyr Gibbs. And you and I both, in pre-draft, you and I were like, Gibbs is not really going to be that hot in the NFL, especially, it just didn't seem like it was that great. And then the only team that made him fantasy relevant to us was the Lions, because it was never even a scenario. We both jumped on the bandwagon. We're like, you know what? He's going to be top 10. I wonder if this is the long game for Dan Campbell. I wonder if he is preserving all of Jahmyr Gibbs' health and endurance and stamina and the play designs and play calls, and what if he is just preserving the entire Jahmyr Gibbs arsenal until later on in the season, until they are making a push for the division title, until they are going for playoff seeding. Who knows what the playoffs look like for the Lions? What if it really is just Dan Campbell's holding back until it's too late for defenses to figure it out and Gibbs takes over the NFL on a hot streak at the end? Cross my mind. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think Dan Campbell's preserving Jahmyr Gibbs, or do you think this is just the way it is and that David Montgomery is the lead back? Because it doesn't look like Jahmyr is going to see the field maybe 50% of the time at this rate.
Yeah. It's going to be, and I'll say this. I don't think we got a fair look at Gibbs and what his role truly will be in games where they're tight, where they're close in a game. The Seahawks game, he was the lead guy, so this wasn't what we were usually hoping for. I mean, this might be a dumb argument because it's like, hey, he got more chances to show off and he still didn't. Like, this may be a dumb argument, but for the game plan they have, we've seen Jahmyr Gibbs like just be in games where the Lions want to run the ball out. I mean, David Montgomery had 32 carries. Like, it's not as if it's, hey, this is a tight shootout and this is a third down play we have to get going. Let's get Gibbs here. Let's whatever it may be. So I may be in denial, but I'm holding out hope. I think the floor is this 9 to 12 point range, and I'll have his games where he blows up. But it's definitely not what we hoped for. And so, Jahmyr Gibbs owners, we're with you.